Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am so excited to have you here today for the first of a trilogy, our web series called Good to Great, Sales Management Success with HPN University. If you are here, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to get a couple of great practical nuggets on ways that you can leverage the HPN University to make a positive impact. This webinar is going to be really focused on managers who are delivering group or instructor-led training, as well as those who are responsible for doing coaching or really leading your advisors using the HPN University. So let's get started. First, I just want to introduce myself as your host today. My name is Melissa Peck, and I am the Director of Client Services here at HPN. I've been at HPN for about 14 years now, and over that time, I have had the privilege and the delight of working with so many of you sales leaders to really engage your learners, your advisors, and help drive them to greater productivity and greater success with their practice. So it's my pleasure to be with you here. And just a couple of items of housekeeping. We're going to go through a short program today. Our session time is 30 minutes, and we're going to carve out a little bit of time at the end to take your questions, feedback, discussion. Really excited to get you guys chatting and thinking about ways that you can implement the ideas that we're talking about today. So as we go through, if you want to jot your ideas down using the chat, that will be the best way to get them in front of me, and I'll be happy to share them with the group. Today, as I said, is the first in a three-part web series. Today, we're going to be focusing on new classroom training and some great modules that are turnkey and ready for you to leverage in a group training setting. Next month, we're going to be talking about enrolling courses and tracking results. So some great tools that you can leverage for coaching and accountability. And then we're going to skip December because everybody's really busy with holidays and all the good stuff that the season brings. But we will be back in January discussing the HPN Pro Series, which is some certificate-driven content that's really a deep dive in certain focus areas that you can assign or work through with your advisors. So this is going to be a great series, really tactical, and we want to help drive engagement on the HPN University as a very powerful learning tool. So we're going to talk about classroom training today. And before we jump in on that topic, I wanted to share why we picked the title Good to Great for this series. And I have been thinking about, as sales managers and as leaders, we have a lot of tools and resources and systems at our fingertips, and how we use them really varies, and any one of them can lead us to being a good, effective leader. But what we're striving for always is greatness and something beyond just what's good. So I pulled a quote from the book Good to Great, which is written by Jim Collins. And the quote says, "Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline." So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. Conscious choices and disciplined practices that we can apply to make us greater as managers and leaders. The first thing I wanted to do, since we're going to be talking about group instructor-led training, is ask you guys a quick question. So we're going to do a quick poll. So the poll is coming up right now. And the question of the poll is, what is your biggest challenge when planning instructor-led training or group training? If you can take a moment, answer the poll. The options are: you don't have enough subject matter expertise in any given topic, you have trouble keeping the group engaged for a 60-minute training session, Or you have trouble or challenges with the logistics of planning a group training session, whether that's coordinating it, getting everyone together, planning it, scheduling that out in advance. There's a lot of different facets that come into play when we're doing a group or instructor-led training module. So just another second to type in or put in your response. Looks like we are all the way there. So now I'm going to end our poll. Thank you everyone for contributing your responses. And here is what we found. 22% of you said your greatest challenge is not enough subject matter expertise. So almost a quarter of you struggle with that idea of having to be the presenter and sort of carry the weight of that program plan. 44% of you said that keeping the group engaged is your biggest challenge. And that, of course, is to be expected. You've got a group together with varying different attention levels and focus areas. So keeping them engaged is really a very challenging thing for any leader or facilitator. And 22% of you said the logistics, coordination, and planning are also challenging. And I would agree with that too. Another 11% of you said that there's another area of challenge, and I would love for you to put that in the chat. If there's a specific area of focus, maybe that's something we can tap into on our session today. So thank you. I'll just post those results so you can see that. And thanks again for participating in that poll. So let's carry on from here. We're going to focus on each of those areas of opportunity, starting with that subject matter expertise piece. But before we dive into that, I think it's important to introduce anybody that's new to this platform, the HPN University. What even is it? What are we talking about here? The HPN University is a terrific digital resource, the most utilized digital content library in the industry. We currently have over 50,000 subscribers in over 25 countries. So we know a lot about learners all over the globe. The platform itself includes a really feel-friendly learner experience. This is content that advisors can access while they're on the go, from their mobile device, from their tablet. We've got digital learning tools that they can execute in a digital format. So it's really user-friendly. And overall, this university is comprised of hundreds of micro-learning videos and courses. And it includes turnkey manager tools for training and coaching. So that's what we're going to be focusing on this series. So let's talk more about the turnkey manager tools and resources. On the HPN University, you have the ability to assign courses or enroll your learners in courses with the click of a button. We're going to go through that as a best practice on our next session. You've got the ability to run quick reports for accountability, which is really going to empower you as a coach. You're going to have coaching guides to help drive really productive conversations. There are skill assessments and tools designed to help you drill into an advisor's specific areas of opportunity. And there are classroom training resources, both for virtual and in-person delivery. And of course, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So as we get started, I wanted to talk about the area of opportunity that is subject matter scalability. If you know HPN's president, Joey Davenport, he has a saying he likes to reference, which is that you're never a prophet in your own hometown. And that means that you can be really on a soapbox preaching the great best practices that we have in our industry, whether that's on the topic of sales skills or motivation or practice management. But there's nothing quite as impactful to your advisors as somebody else saying that same message. One of the greatest things about the classroom training modules on the site is that you have the best speakers and advisors and field leaders in the financial services, names that are recognized, as well as a wide variety of perspectives, of lived experiences, and just ideas, all included in the group training sessions that you have access to on this platform. So you can imagine the value of including all of these great faculty members in your training room. I was researching recently, what is the average cost to have a speaker come in and speak to your group for an hour? And for even a brand new speaker, the minimum cost of that is $1,500 roughly. So to have such a wide variety of speakers, and these are the best, main stage, main platform speakers that the industry offers in your classroom, is just such a huge value. You can also see that, we have a lot of great voices in that library. So that's going to be a huge, huge benefit. Again, having these great speakers speaking to the subject areas that you need to cover in that group takes so much pressure off of you as a facilitator. You no longer need to be the be all end all resource on all of the topics that an advisor needs to know. So let's move on to the next good to great dimension here, which is logistical flexibility. The HPN University classroom training is going to give you the ability to really organize and coordinate a group session, whether that's virtual or in person, very, very easily. I'm going to just show you how easy it is to navigate through the HPN University to find this content. And then we're going to look at it live on the website in just a little bit. From our main menu, you don't even have to click anything to get to the classroom training section. So it's listed right there on the main dropdown. Underneath that classroom training section, there are over 150 group training sessions ready to go right out of the box. Each of them will give you 45 to 60 minutes of training that's so turnkey. On today's session, I want to focus on the new classroom training, which is brand new for 2023. And this has been completely redesigned for logistical simplicity, based on what we've learned throughout the pandemic and from the influx of virtual delivery and blended delivery programs. So in that classroom training section, there are 20 or more, we've got more coming in, right away, hour-long training sessions for you. These are all based in the topic of sales skills, but they cover a wide variety of topics. So very easy to access, 20 to 24 new modules ready to go. So really, you've got something for every other week to run a program if you just follow the bouncing ball through these programs. What makes this so simple from a logistical standpoint is that you can access each one of these modules, and they are broken up into compartmentalized pieces. So the first thing you will see is that there are usually one or two short micro-learning videos, and that is where all of that subject matter expertise gets handled. So you've got, in this case, about 10 minutes worth of video. And frequently we pair two different speakers on a common topic or theme. Then you also have a participant notes page, and that is a digital download. I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. But that is a companion piece so that while your learners or your advisors are watching the videos, they can be taking notes in a fillable form. You have the ability to assign this module, which would include those two videos and the participant notes page, to your advisors. And that's something you can actually do as a batch for your entire class that's registered to attend that day's session. The importance of doing this is that, especially in a virtual format, watching videos streaming over a Zoom meeting is really not optimal. And we know that many facilitators are moving away from that. So you now can assign these videos to be watched as pre-work before that day's session, which will give you a lot more time to discuss and do exercises, all of which has been pre-designed for you. And to that end, the next thing that you will see in this course is your facilitator guide. And that's visible only if you are set up with manager level permissions on the website. So very, very easy to create a pre-work, to assign this to your learners and to track their progress to make sure that they've watched those videos before that day's session. So you've got all of that empowerment right at your fingertips with each one of these sessions. So let's talk about the opportunity to enhance learner engagement based on the materials that you just saw in each one of these modules. Each module includes, as I said, a digital participant notes page. This is something that they can download straight out of the site, or they can print it and save it as a PDF, whatever they're more comfortable with. And this will allow them to complete these questions while they're watching the videos. That's something that's really useful for them to do as they're doing their pre-work and bring that to the day's session so that they can jog their memory. We've all got a lot going on, so this makes it really easy to recall what you watched in the video. And we're not trying to trick them. It's not a quiz or anything. It's just a fillable worksheet for each one of these modules. So that's one way to keep them really engaged, to make sure they come to that class prepared. The other part of creating a really engaging learning session is to have a very robust classroom training guide for you as a facilitator. So each one of these modules has a 5 or 6 page facilitator guide that's only visible if you are a manager. And that includes preparation for that day's session, what to bring, what to do in advance, directives for you as a trainer, so some instructions on how to navigate the document itself, high impact debrief questions, and a number of different engaging group activities or exercises that really bring the concepts that are spoken about by our subject matter experts to life. So it's really about taking these ideas out for a spin and practicing them as a group. And a copy of the participant handout is also included in that guide. This is downloadable or printable, just like the participant guide. So it's very easy to access and save it so that you can create a folder that, you know, is preparing you for that day's session. So what I want to do now is take you into the site and show you live. Before I do that, I see that we have a question in the Q&A box. So the question is, can you be selective on the videos and enrolling users, or is it the entire course? That's a great question. Thank you, Sean. You can actually be selective. If you were running a half an hour training session and you only wanted to really carve out one video at a time, you could do that. It's really easy, and I'll be happy to show you when we get live in the site. So thanks for that question. Let's go out of PowerPoint now and over into the HPN University. So when you sign into the university, the very first thing that you're going to see as a learner, as always, is content that you're enrolled in. So imagine that you're one of the advisors that is going to be going through a virtual training session, and they've been assigned the videos to watch in advance. That's going to populate for them right here on their homepage dashboard. They're also going to get an email from the system when you enroll them that brings them straight to that content. So let's navigate to the classroom training section, which is accessible from the main menu. If you scroll down, you'll see classroom training is its own section right here on the menu. And what we're focusing on today is the new classroom training. In that section, we have over 20 different modules listed here by title. So you can really browse and do them in any order that you like, depending on the themes that you have in your programming. I'm just going to click on one to give you an example. So this is a classroom training module featuring a Selfie Taylor and Penny Phillips on mastering personal observations and uncovering the new wave of prospecting. So this as a course is set up so that you can assign to other people with a single click. Sean will come back to your idea of breaking this apart in just a second, but I want to show you the steps of assigning this course to your group. So you click on that red Enroll Others button, and you'll be taken to what is our administration side of the website. And here you're going to see your list of learners that fall under your organizational hierarchy. So now you can click an individual, you can click a few people, you can selectively click your learners, or you could assign this to everybody that's under you in the hierarchy. One neat trick, you might want to write this one down. If you have a list, let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet of your new class and you want to assign it to selective people, this is where you can pick any one of them and click Enroll. You're going to get a little window that pops up there, and you'll see an option to enroll multiple users. This is really handy because you can actually copy and paste an entire list from another source as long as they all have a user ID on the system. So that's a great way that you could assign this to a given class. Once you hit that enroll button, the email notification goes straight out, and that will tell your learners, hey, Melissa has assigned you this course, click here to get started. And that link to click will bring them straight in to view the content. And remember, they don't see the facilitator guide. They only see the 2 videos and that participant notes page. Now, you've assigned this. Let's say I'm going to assign this to Melissa. Okay, and I'm enrolling that. If I want to, I can add a due date that the course needs to either be completed within a certain period of time or by a specific date. That's going to enhance the messaging that goes out in those notifications, by the way. So no due date for this one. So once I've enrolled that, that's going to send out that automated message. Now I have the ability to go into my reports and track the completion of enrollments by course. So I can see a specific learner, and I can see everything that they have been assigned. And I can actually check to see if they've watched those specific videos, whether they've watched any part of them, whether they've accessed their notes page. It's all contained right there. Excuse me. So you've got a really great accountability tool built in. Now, to Sean's point about breaking these modules up, you do have the ability, if you click on a specific video in this course, you can actually follow that same procedure and assign just that one video. So this is the Selfie Taylor video. Below that video, there's a red button to be able to assign just that. So it's really that simple. If we go back to the course, you'll see the facilitator guide is here, super easy to download. You can also access it right in the platform. And I'll just scroll through so you can see it's very easy to navigate. There are icons to pull your eye to specific activities and exercises. Anywhere that we list a debrief question or discussion topic, you'll see that we also include the correct answers to look for from your participants. So everything is there that you would need to run a session, soup to nuts, you know, from the description, which you can copy and paste straight into an email invitation to make that logistically easy for you. it's all right there in the platform. And you've got enough to build an entire year-long curriculum if you do them every other week. By the way, if you see a module that you really like and you want to remember where that was, you can actually add it to your saved tab. So I just clicked add to saved. And now when I log into my homepage on my save tab, I have that module queued up right here. So you could build out your entire curriculum in the order that you want. Super, super easy. I want to take you back now to the overall presentation as we're wrapping up our time together, and just recall that the new classroom training modules on the HPN University include that subject matter scalability, all of those amazing experts and resources at your fingertips for such a minimal fraction of the cost of what it would be to bring them in person into your training room. You've got that logistical flexibility, the ability to assign content in advance, the ability to parcel out individual pieces of content if you want to handle it that way, and the ability to bookmark certain modules that you want to cover on your own homepage. And then we've got that learner engagement, the videos, which are super engaging to begin with, paired with those participant notes pages, and also the facilitator guide, which includes those high impact adult learning exercises and activities. So everything is there to make this super duper easy and effective. So I've got a couple of minutes left to take any additional questions. And feel free to type those in either on the Q&A or on the chat box, and I'll be happy to take those. And also, I wanted to provide you guys with the titles of our next upcoming sessions. So Tuesday, November 14th, we will be talking about enrolling courses and tracking results. You got a smidgen of that today, but we're going to look at that from a coaching perspective on our next session, how to find and select courses, courses that are woven into longer curriculum, and then how to track progress on those. And then in January, we are going to be talking about the HPN Pro series, which is certificate-driven content for a deeper dive on a specific focus area. As we wrap up here, I've got a QR code. If you want to hold your phone up to the screen, this will take you straight into that new classroom training section on the HPN University. So you can zap yourself straight in there and get started selecting content for your group training session. I did see a question come in about what topics are covered in that new classroom training section. And right now, all of those topics are covering sales skills, which is every step in that sales process, from prospecting to phoning, fact-finding, closing, even a little bit of sales psychology and motivation in there. So it's really a great place to build your program. All right, well, this has been a very full session. I hope you will join us on the next session in November. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and go ahead and get started using the HPN University for classroom training. Thanks so much.